Shoot the Messenger, your weekly current affairs review of people and politics, art and culture. On today's programme, a summit which promises to turn the Rift Valley into Silicon Valley for a few days at least, and a health festival exploring the long-term damage of slavery. Among our guests are the redoubtable Tracy Ford, who turned the tragic loss of her son James into a rallying cry to mothers everywhere, and the barrister and poet David Nita on why it's time for Africans all over the world to bloom. But first, let's meet our paper reviewers. They are Yvonne Coghill, who spent over 30 years in Britain's National Health Service and is now the national lead. Honoured to have you as well, Io. Viewpoint Africa, well, I presume it's because you have views that you want to share all over the world about the continent, is that right?
Absolutely. It's a citizen journalist hub. We've got journalists from across Africa that upload information that's readily available to news outlets and all individuals.
Now, I see you everywhere, not just here on Vox Africa. Is that because people are more and more interested in hearing about Africa from Africans as opposed to liberals from Europe who feel they're experts in Africa?
Well, gone are the days when one would think that Africa is not a topic for discussion, but Africa is the new destination. It's very much in the top end of discussion, especially from a business perspective, but more so from an economic perspective. They know that Africa is going to be the next destination, and that's why all businesses around the world are galvanizing for Africa. We've got the Chinese there, we've naturally got Britain and America and many, many other stakeholders. So clearly it's a destination of choice for 1,000 reasons, and it would appear that I'm very privileged to be speaking about it and to be engaging at the very top end of it.
Now, Yvonne came over here from Guyana when she was just a child.
I did.
That's in, well, Guyana's actually not the Caribbean, it's South America, isn't it?
South America.
So you're South American. And you're West African, Sierra Leone.
There we go.
And Sierra Leone, we hear, is open for business, especially with Tony Blair as your sort of ambassador.
Well, Tony Blair he's been made a chief.
He's a chief, yes. Wow.
Sierra Leone has come through a difficult period, but we've come through that period, and Sierra Leone is definitely looking to the future. It's open for business. It's evolving and developing, and Tony Blair, being an ambassador, as she rightfully said, is actually campaigning on behalf of that country, and it's a good thing, and the country can only benefit from that. But we've got many, many challenges.
Oh, thank you very much indeed for that paper review. We're going to move on now, because when you hear the words Silicon Valley, you probably think of the world's most pioneering technology companies like Google and Facebook, you know, somewhere off the west coast of the States. But if some of Africa's top business brains get their way, in the future we'll be looking more toward the Rift Valley. That's because they're making their way toward the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, for Afri-Tech. It's a major summit on online and digital technology and marketing. Io Johnson is its main cheerleader here in Britain, and he's really excited. He's going off to Nairobi later on today. Yes. Tell us why you're so excited about this.
Well, it's the very first to actually have a massive digital marketing conference of this nature, engaging with businesses, encouraging synergies, and very much informing and doing wealth transfer in terms of technology advancement and information. So it's huge for the continent, and we've had endless amount of support from around the world and media interest, and we are all truly excited that this conference can really set the stage for a series of conferences across Africa where this element of wealth transfer and very much about educational transfer is possible, especially having the best minds around the world coming to the continent to be able to deliver and provide the best knowledge applications in terms of addressing Africa's problems.
There's a lot of technical stuff you're talking about, knowledge, applications, transfer. Our poor NHS worker is wondering what you're talking about there. Can you explain in a bit more detail? Because we're all aware of social networking sites and the impact it had on the North African revolutions, you know, Facebook and Twitter. Is it that kind of thing that companies and businesses and governments are going to be discussing in Nairobi? Is that what you mean by this Afri-Tech?
Well, Afri-Tech is about connecting the dots, bringing people together, engaging, informing, inspiring, and providing confidence for people to go out there and check out information to be able to get practical solutions in their daily lives. So if you're asking as to whether the application is going to improve people's lives, absolutely. If it's going to be involved in the best technological advancements in terms of how people can use those technologies to improve themselves, absolutely so. If it's actually going to be about bringing synergies, businesses coming together and to be able to apply the application better than they currently are, that's what it's all about.
I'm just wondering, actually, I mean, here in this country, when you have, you suspect you've got an illness, you go straight away online, don't you? And you look to see whether or not that cough has a cause that you can determine. People are self-diagnosing more and more online, aren't they?
Yes,
I'm just wondering, are these the kind of applications, these kind of things that you hope people will be able to do more of in Africa. So Africa's underbanked.
Yeah.
But also, when it comes to the infrastructure and the information superhighway, there is a digital divide between North and South, isn't there?
And
that's what you're attacking.
That's what we're attacking. Because the digital divide is one about knowledge, it's one about infrastructure, and very much about the ability to use whatever it is you have. And if the thought process was all about our minds, if we can get the best minds in the world to come